AI can outdo humans in ways that help humans. Humans make mistakes. So in an area like medicine, AI is already helping doctors improve diagnoses in ways that can help patients and could help lower income patients even the most. Take situations with overworked and rushed doctors. MIT has found an AI model that can detect Parkinson's from reading a person's breathing patterns, an accurate system that's not possible for human doctors. The computing power here goes way beyond a calculator. AI sped up the development of a cancer drug, and for some doctors, AI is not replacing their jobs, but enhancing it. Take this New York Times headline about doctors using trained AI systems to spot breast cancer that human doctors missed. And this is in the field right now, not a study. The Times reports 2 radiologists had a patient's X-ray and they didn't show any cancer signs. But AI software flagged a scan as potentially cancerous. One doctor then replying, "This is something," and ordering that patient, that woman, to be called back for a biopsy she would not have otherwise ever gotten. So you see already the speed and the power of this. It's out there whether you know about it or not, and in some places it's doing amazing things, which is why there has been so much excitement from the people closest to this space about it. Take a look.
I would say the AI is where I'm excited about software getting a lot better.
Elon Musk's brain implant company called Neuralink says it's gotten permission from U.S. regulators to begin testing its device in people.
This is telepathic typing.
This is the type of research that can eventually lead to robots that can come out of the factories and work in other types of human environments.
What's really cool here is Sake the monkey is moving the mouse cursor using just his mind.
Researchers say the AI was able to read the brainwaves and translate all of that you're seeing right there into English and turn it into what looks like inner dialogue.
The first thing that we thought when we kind of got this working was, oh my God, this is amazing that this works.
Compared to the Web3 things, I think AI is far, far more important, and there are great advances taking place there.
The second thing we thought was, this is scary.
Amazing, but scary. All of that's real. And you might be thinking, okay, Ari, where are we going here? The road from maps or cancer screenings, good, to self-governing robots in the wild and mind reading, scary, to quote the people involved. And people often look at this area with a kind of sci-fi lens. Experts do caution this new AI is not sentient. It is not thinking like a human. It is not, in that sense, like the AI robots in movies like Her or Ex Machina, the spooky kind of fictional future that we've seen in so many films, which now are offering, I guess, warnings we could look at that do seem more relevant.
You're dating Inouye? What is that like?
I feel really close to her. Like when I talk to her, I feel like she's with me.
Do you want to be my friend? Of course. Will it be possible?
Why would it not be? Did you know that Nathan brought me here to test you?
Nathan, you shouldn't trust anything he says.
Shouldn't trust him. That's a warning there from a robot about their human creator. So who do you trust? I'll come back to that. But today the risks are also multiplying. These powerful tools can be weaponized for, to list just some projections, superhuman hacking, surveillance, persuasion manipulation, and, quote, physical target identification. The alarm has been sounding whether we are hearing it or not. There's also virtually no training for random people accessing this stuff. There's no code of ethics, let alone laws in America. AI can be used to reinforce oppressive systems. It can further empower an unaccountable and unrepresentative group of tech and financial elites who are the ones driving this right now. They could make decisions that lock in frameworks, but before the rest of us, you or the rest of us, let alone Congress, understand what's even happening out there. And the gap in access and knowledge does favor the tech folks. It is easy to see how out of touch some politicians have been, and this is the largest tech regulation challenge I think we've ever seen. But if you think back a few years, back to things that were new at the time that we now, anyone probably has some understanding of. Think about some of the most powerful politicians and how they responded to technology that was new at the time, like the internet or Facebook.
And again, the internet is not something that you just dump something on. It's not a big truck. It's a series of tubes.
How do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
I see.
I'd ask you, how does that show up on a 7-year-old's iPhone who's playing a kid's game?
Congressman, iPhone is made by a different company.
I could show you a lot more like that. The speed of this industry is a challenge of itself. And I really want to be clear about this as we try to reason through it. The government has tons of regulations for older things, for industries that have been around, from farms to railroads. It tends to underregulate new things because the law uses precedent. And that has logic, but it also has its own kind of bias when it comes to new stuff. So today, Congress has tons of laws for farming and railroads and television. There's rules about what you can even say on broadcast television, which, however important people think that is, if you think about Super Bowl or profanity, I don't think it is on the same level of some of the AI stuff we just went through. Meanwhile, there are no federal laws specifically regulating AI as we speak today. European lawmakers are trying to move ahead. There's a vote next week for rules on companies developing AI in the EU. And tech leaders from that OpenAI group that we showed you, well, even Elon Musk says he's for some regulation. Another AI leader talking about an agency that could license this power. And just to touch on that briefly, a license or some federal supervision is one model. I mean, again, I'm saying things here to try to be as clear as possible. I just showed you the power of this stuff, mind reading, global data, creating self-governing systems. Again, when you think about the legal kind of traditions here, you cannot open one single office as a doctor or a lawyer in America today without a license and a regulated system. You certainly can't open a whole bank. But right now, anyone, literally anyone, can deploy many of those tools that I just showed you on open AI systems, which have the positives I showed you, but also all this other stuff we don't even understand yet, and they can do it without any supervision, training, or government rules. So, if you're thinking this is a long time to talk about tech, let me put it like this. I'm not talking to you about technology tonight. I'm talking to you about the things that will affect us as human beings, our society, and yes, where we go from here. Humans have been on Earth a long time. It's only very recently that our own tools and technology have raised the actual risk of our own extinction. The Cold War era defined by the actual understood possibility of what they called mutually assured destruction because of what humans created, not any external thing, because of tech, because of breakthroughs. Now, today's kids don't do as many bomb shelter drills as during the Cold War. They're growing up, though, in a world where scientists warn our industrial tools could still cause irreversible, catastrophic climate change, and we do talk about that sometimes. The theme here in recent history is that our developments, our technology, and the way we use it or let it get out of control turns out being more dangerous to us, to humanity, maybe to the Earth, than most things that we've lived through or come across in tens of thousands of years. That's the context for how some people in the know now doing this work say this powerful tech could pose a risk to humanity.
There's the risk of producing a lot of fake news so nobody knows what's true anymore. They could easily manipulate us if they wanted to. We know, for example, that you can invade a building in Washington without ever going there yourself by just manipulating people. But imagine something that was much better at manipulating people than any of our current politicians. The machines taking over is a threat for everybody.
That's from an AI pioneer. You know, in politics, we hear, oh, the politicians, they're bickering or they're focused on the wrong things. That may be the case in this area. And if big tech is publicly saying, hey, we need some rules fast to make sure this doesn't go off the rails, Just imagine what they might be saying privately, or what they know about things that aren't broadly available yet. They seem worried these tools are already in too many people's hands with no laws for safety, let alone ethics. Maybe they're trying to get our attention without completely scaring us. And maybe that fictional robot in the movie Ex Machina had a point. Don't trust the robot's creator, is what the robot said. And while we're at it, maybe don't trust the robot either. We can use some of these tools for progress. We saw those examples tonight. But even that benefit would only be if we retain control of them. If they take over, it won't matter who we trust, because it won't be our tool or maybe our world.